Sergeant James Ward from New Zealand crawled along the wing of a Wellington bomber and put out a fire in the starboard engine. He was returning from a raid on Munster. His great gallantry earned him the Victoria Cross.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another heavy metal diecast video, of course, and we've got another big bomber here, another one from Corgi in 1/72 scale diecast. Now this particular aircraft is of course a Vickers Wellington, and this is a Mark 1C of course, and this particular one does have a bit of a story to it. So to be honest, if you don't give a shit about stories, skip ahead a couple of minutes and you'll get straight to the model. But I'm going to tell a little bit of a story about this one because I do like to honour the pilots and the men who did fly these machines. It doesn't matter what flag they were flying them under. It does take a lot of stones to pilot or be a member of an aircraft and you know, take off into the air and not know if you're ever going to make it back home to your families. Now, this particular aircraft, of course, is from No.75 squadron, which was a New Zealand squadron. And that was a RAF squadron that was comprised mainly of New Zealand-born personnel. After World War II, actually, the squadron number and its honours would be transferred officially to the Royal New Zealand Air Force. Now, this particular aircraft here, the one that's on fire, is one that James Allen Ward would be co-pilot on, and that is who that is. And he would be the first New Zealand airman to receive the Victoria Cross. While returning from a bombing mission over Germany on the night of the 7th of July 1941, their Wellington was attacked and hit by a Bf-110 night fighter, and a fuel tank would rupture and the aircraft would catch fire. Extinguishers failed to put out the fire, and it looked as though it was getting out of control, and it looked like it was going to engulf the whole wing and then the whole aircraft, of course. And the pilot did give the order for everyone to prepare to bail out. Ward, with a rope tied around his waist, I kid you not, anchored by another crew member, then proceeded to climb out the astrodome here, the little dome on here, and he climbed out of that and made his way along that wing to put out that fire. While carrying a canvas engine cover, he would cut holes into the wing so he could actually, you know, make his way to the burning area. And he did manage to smother the flames. And when the fire was out, he was helped back to the aircraft. And with the fire extinguished, they were actually able to make it back safely to England and did make an emergency crash landing, and the crew made it safely back to base. Although the actual aircraft was severely damaged in that emergency landing and would have actually been written off anyway, Ward would receive the VC for these actions. He would also get command of his own Wellington. Would be killed just 2 months later, unfortunately, over Hamburg during a bombing mission in Germany, aged 22. On that day, sadly also, a proposal to send Ward back home had been approved, as his VC award would be useful for propaganda and recruitment purposes, but unfortunately that information and order came too late. So with that somber story over, let us get to this fantastic looking model. Well, the box looks awesome, and it is quite large, as you can see. I actually bought this from a local hobby shop online for $190 from Metro Hobbies, and I reckon, and that was including delivery, I reckon we open this up. We'll see if we can open these big ones up on camera. We will reveal, and there is nothing there. And of course it does come with this collector card. So there is a limited run of 1,100. So if you want one of these, if you like what you see today and you want one, you better be quick. All right, let's move that out of the way. We'll get this plastic part out. Move that box. And we'll get this lid open, of course. And reveal of that Wellington. That does look pretty nice in there. So obviously it does have a stand here. And it does have the cool little bomb rack in there. That does have that great detail in there. We will get our hands on this Wellington. Get it out of that little packet. We'll move that packet out of the way. And check out this. This does look absolutely great. This is brand new, of course. It does have some rear gunner detail in there. There is a little crew member in there. The guns, do they? or I don't want to risk that. They might move because there is a provision in the glass there for it to move, but it is stiff, so I'm not going to risk it. And it does have some great detail on the wings. That sort of fabric lining detail. All that texture on the wings is on there. The paint application is really nice. It does look fantastic. It's got some beautiful details. The turret, I'm not sure if that moves. It might. Everything is quite stiff. As I said, this is brand spanking new. Got to be careful to see if there's any little prickly bits sticking off it. The propellers don't really move as freely as normal. They are quite resistant. They do turn without any problem, but they don't spin. Normally these ones from Corgi spin really well, but this one, not so much. So hopefully that's just an issue maybe with mine, but hey, if you do have one of these, don't forget to leave that information in the comments below, and let me know if your propellers spin. We'll have a little look underneath, and it is all black with the English night bombing raids, of course. It does have some beautiful detail under there. Wow. Of course, this comes out of the factory in flight. So this is exactly how you would display it in flight, of course. You don't have to do anything. It's all ready to go. Well, of course, the only thing you do need to do is pop out that, I think, that little grommet in there, so you can put that stand in there, and that is job done for that. But what we want to do is, what we'll do is, why we've got it like this, we will set it up the way I like to see it, and we will chuck some extended landing gear on this and check it in wheels down, of course. We will go off and do that right now. Alright, here we have this Vickers set up in wheels down. Straightforward process. It does look very good. Very straightforward. You just put the extended tail wheel right in its slot, straightforward, and of course the lowered main landing gear in their respective areas, and they do roll fantastically. No difficulty. Very straightforward. And the bomb bay you swap out with the open one, which does look really great. But I have just one problem. Now, usually when you've got the bomb bay open, it's when you're doing a bombing run and you're flying over your target to let it go. And of course, to display this in flight, you can't use the open bomb bay. You have to use the closed bomb bay because it has that hole to put the end of the stand in, of course. So it's really weird that you actually can't display this with the bomb bay open while it's in flight, when normally that's when the bomb bay is going to be open while it's flying over its target. So the only way you can show the bombs off is when you've got it gear down and sitting on its landing gear, which is really close to the ground. So unless you're putting it on a shelf that's got like a glass bottom that you can see underneath, or it's a mirrored bottom, it's going to be really hard to see these details. I don't know. To me, that's just a little bit weird, but that's the way it is. But that's just the way it is. But well, maybe someone in the head office didn't think that quite through. But it is a great looking model nonetheless. I think this is a really cool one, and with the story behind it too, I think that's a wonderful tribute to those on board. And we'll put it on the deck, of course, and see how she sits. Beautiful. Alrighty, so of course, if you enjoy a Vickers Wellington like I do, give us one of those if you can find that button somewhere down there, and click that little like button. Of course, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you are enjoying the videos that we're putting out, and hopefully you like the content today. So once again, this is by Corgi, 1/72 scale. It is the Vickers Wellington Mark 1C, and it was the one that Sergeant James Allen Ward was on from the, this is from the 75th New Zealand Squadron. All right, guys, once again, of course, thank you so much for sticking around for another video. For those of you that have watched it to its conclusion, don't forget, we'll take some happy snaps of this and chuck the photos of this without my hands all over it, and you can check it out at the conclusion of the video, of course. And once again, thank you for spending your valuable time in checking out another one of our diecast videos. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. You all have a fantastic rest of your day. Cheers.
He's the first New Zealand flying VC of this war, and I know you won't be the last. Jolly good show, Sergeant.
Good
show.
Well, thank you very much, sir. I really think there's a lot of chaps around that could have done the job as well as I did.
Right.
They should have had the chance.